in their seatbelt. You can report them to the police. They get 2 reports. Then the police can actually sanction them with a warning and then actually issue them with a penalty. Hello, Genesis.
As I was saying, what I was saying about the Obama deception, they were saying there was reports, very, very credible reports, that Obama was being attacked by the far right. And as we know, in the case of Inglesa, in the case of BNP, Beach Movement, National Front, Aryan Nation, all these other far right organisations, when they promote, because they can't touch us physically, they use propaganda to attack us. And in the case of Obama, it was very, very, very powerful, very established and organised far-right organisations that were attacking him to try and discredit, because they couldn't discredit him because millions upon millions, hundreds of millions of people voted to get him in. Because they couldn't discredit him that way. They went for a proper long shot, like, shooting from a distance to a telescopic sight, going back using a
G, not cutting you, but I mean, do you really care about what's going to happen to Obama? Do you really care?
Yes, I do in the context that I like fair play. The same way I'm eating all this propaganda against Jewish people, and I'm having to find and correct Reese and all these other people and put them right. Saying, like, for example, I put in earlier on that it was you can go on the IMF website, you can go on the European Union website and see that the biggest exporters out of the African continent for resources was China and France. And Reese was saying, Jew this, Jew that, etc. In relation to robbing us black people. And I just like to put the facts right. I don't mind people banning people, but if we're going to ban them, when it comes to my people, ban them with the truth. I don't want us being misinformed. So we're chasing ghosts, or we're believing in incredible information. Because I see information, like equations. If you've got the wrong equations to manipulate and to progress with and to research with, you're going to come to the wrong conclusions. So I like to give our people the right equations, so when they want to manipulate, add, take away, multiply and subtract, they can come to the proper. I don't care what any other community does. When it comes to our community, I like us to have the right equations. As unpopular as they may seem, this is
I'd put. Yeah, but listen, G, but I put you down as a decoder. Like the information that comes your way, you decode it, you break it down, and then you phone up and give your interpretation of it. So I put you down as a decoder, as opposed to.
That's correct. That's correct. You are a mind food provider.
Okay.
I'll see you and Haru and the Cosmogen as mind food providers. You know, feeding our minds with information that can save us and having to research and then give ourselves reality checks. You give us a reality check. You put the reality checks in front of us and let us do with them as we please. But back to the Obama deception now. Yes, what I find alarming about the Obama deception is that I personally know through credible sources that the Obama deception is far-right Ku Klux Klan stroke neo-Nazi fascist propaganda against a black president. That's the only reason why they're doing it. Not because he's American, not because he's Republican or whatever they call themselves, whatever.
Yeah, but does that surprise you? But G, does that surprise you? He's a black president. Anybody, if he's a Jewish man there, if he's a Mexican, if he's an Indian, because they're white supremacists, they're going to hate anyone in there, providing they're not white. So him being a black man, it shouldn't really surprise you that they're most probably plotting to do those type of things. But I don't believe any white supremacist group is going to take Obama out. The only people...
No, they won't take him out, but they're going to try and slander him as much as they can, throw the dirt and tell lies about him, exaggerate any little small mistake he makes, going to blow it out of proportions to make it sound a million times bigger. So when us African origin people do look at African origin men, especially men, like the one they try and drive out of houses in this country, leave our children with the women on their own with their children. So they don't want a man in their houses in this country, but a black man in the houses with women in this country. We must understand that we must be careful not to look at our leaders through the eyes of our staunch enemies and their staunch enemies. We mustn't make that mistake. That's very detrimental. And again, when it comes to Jewish hate and far-right European, far-right American, far-right Eastern European, far-right Russian, and far-right other region hate against Jewish people, we mustn't look at these people through the benefit of white supremacy, the eyes of white supremacy. We must look at them through our own eyes, and if we are going to be informed about them, let us be informed about them by one of our own, and a credible one of our own, because it seems to me our own people even being brainwashed by these dodgy websites and these untitled persons, people with no name that are giving us information about Jewish people. We've got to be very careful and deal with people through sources of our own. Until we have them sources, we have to look at these opinions, these fascistic and xenophobic opinions of nullified. We can't take them on board until we get our own people to do research in these areas and thus have credible information from our own camp.
Okay.
That's all I wanted to say, CW, and keep up the Genesis mind food. Thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thanks for your input there, Jay.
In Russian, they say goodbye, до свидания. Goodbye, sir.
Okay, I'm going to have to call you G from Russia now. Okay, thanks for that, G.
No. It shows that I'm studying Russian at the moment, but I've got it on my mind.
Okay, no worries. Thanks for that then, G.
Yeah, big up. No, they don't call it Russian, they call it Russi. They don't say Russian, they say, if you say Russia, they say Russi, not Russian, Russi.
Okay.
Big up, CW, and keep up the mind food to our people as you have been doing in recent times. Goodbye for that, sir.
Okay, peace, bro. Peace out. Okay. All right, thanks for that call, G. All right, got to squeeze in this information about the road.